Greeting, legends. Let me ask you a question. What's wrong with human beings today? It's about this statement that I want to talk with you. We live today in a fortunate age. This is an age that humanity has looked forward to, dreamt of, and worked toward for thousands of years. We live in the richest age that ever existed on the face of this planet. An age of abundant opportunity for everyone you see. However, since it's here, we take everything around us for granted. Here are some statistics that I stumbled onto. If you take 100 individuals who start even at the age of 25, do you have any idea what will happen to those individuals by the time they're 65? Those 100 individuals believe they are going to be successful. They are eager toward life. There is a different light in their eyes, no stopping their excitement, and life seems like a pretty fascinating journey to them. But by the time they're 65, only 1 will be rich, 4 will be financially independent, 5 will still be working, and 54 will be broke or depending on someone else for life's necessities. Only 5 out of 100 conquer their mark. Why do so many give up? What has happened to the light that was there when they were 25? The fascinating journey. What has become of their dreams, these hopes, these plans? And why is there such a large gap between what these people envisioned to do and what they actually realized? First of all, we have to find out what exactly success actually means. Here's the best definition I've been able to find. Success is the enhanced discovery of a worthy idea. If an individual is working toward a present goal and knows where he's going, this man is a success. If he's not doing that, then he's a failure. Success is the entrepreneur who wants to start his own company and hustling so hard because that was his dream. A success is a woman who wants to become a mother and wants to be the greatest mother ever lived. A success is the little boy who wants to become a pilot because that was his dream, ambition, and that's what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. A success is anyone who's realizing and enhancing his worthy, predetermined idea because that is what he or she decided to do intentionally. But only 1 out of 100 does that. A book by the title Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini discusses the idea of how and why people agree to things despite not liking it. Mostly for the simple reason that they conform. People acting like everyone else without knowing why, how, or where they're going. Think of this. In Canada right now, there is almost 6.2 million people aged 65 and older, and most of them are broke. They are dependent on someone else for life necessities. We learn to read by the time we're 5. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. Often by that time, we're not only making a living, we're supporting a family. And yet, by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to be financially independent in one of the most prosperous countries in the world. Why do we conform? Why most of us are acting like the wrong 95% of group of people who don't succeed? Why so many people conform? That's the question. These individuals believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior powers. A survey was done one time that covered a lot of working individuals, and these individuals were asked, why do you work? Why do you wake up in the morning? 9 out of 10 had no idea. If you ask them, they will tell you that everyone goes to work in the morning, and that is the reason why they do it, because everybody's doing it. For 13 years, I wondered about that secret key. I was looking for it for a long time. I looked for the key which would explain what would happen to a human being when he discovers that key. I asked myself, was there actually a key that existed that would do that? Which would make our promised future we all imagined. Was there a key that will actually guarantee a person becoming successful if he knew about it and, most importantly, know how to use it? Well, the truth is, this secret key exists. Have you ever wondered why so many people work so hard and honestly while achieving without achieving anything in particular, and why other folks don't even seem to work hard yet seems to get everything? They seem to have that magic touch you've heard people say. Everything he touches turns to gold, or he was born with a golden spoon in his mouth, etc., etc. Have you ever noticed the person who becomes successful tends to continue becoming successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how someone who's a failure tends to continue to fail? The difference is what direction and goals they are aiming at. Individuals with clear direction succeed because they know where they're going. It's that simple. Failures, on the other hand, believe that their life and what happened in it shaped by circumstances, by things and events that happen to them, by some weird outside forces they don't have control of. For instance, think of one of those huge ships in the ocean. It has a complete voyage planned out in advance. The captain and the crew know exactly where the ship is going and how long the voyage will take. It has a direct, absolute, definite goal, and 99% of the time it will get to where it's directed. Now, imagine another ship, exactly like the first one, but the only difference is that it does not have a captain or any type of crew aboard. There's no direction or aiming point and no destination. We just have to start the engine and let it move. I believe you will agree with me that it's lucky if it gets out of the harbor at all. I believe it will either sink or wind up on some deserted island somewhere. It cannot go any place because it has no destination, no direction, and no guidance. It's the same with the human beings, but the human race and society as a whole is programmed not to protect the strong from winning, but to protect and to prevent the weak from losing. Nowadays, society can be linked to a country's army in a time of war. The entire society is slowed down to protect the weakest link, just like the army has to go at the speed that will allow its slowest soldier to remain into conformation. That is the reason why it's very easy to make a living nowadays. It takes no smart brains or special talent to support a family or make a life today. We have reached some kind of ceiling of so-called security, job security, life security, and living security. All we have to decide how high above that ceiling we want to reach and grab. Throughout history, the great wise men and teachers, educators, philosophers, millionaires and billionaires have disagreed with each other. It is only on this one point they are in complete and unanimous agreement, and that is the key of success and the key of failure, and that is we become what we think about. This is the greatest secret ever told. Why do I say it's the greatest secret? Actually, it isn't a secret at all. It appeared throughout history again and again. We see it on all those online quotes that you see every day on the internet. But a few number of individuals have learned it and understood it. That is why I call it the greatest secret ever told. And for some weird reason, it virtually remains hidden. Socrates, one of the few individuals who shaped the culture and intellectual development of the human understanding and the world, said, "Your mind is your predicament. It wants to be free of change, free of pain, free of the obligation of life and death, but change is law. No amount of pretending will alter that reality." Buddha said, "We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows." Brian Tracy said, "You are a living magnet. What you attract into your life is harmony with your dominant thoughts." Margaret Thatcher said, "Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for they become destiny. What we think, we become." William James said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind." He also said, "If you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be educated, you will be educated. If you wish to be good, you will be good. Only you must then really wish these things and wish them exclusively, not wish for the same time a million other things. My friends, Dr. Glenn Theodore puts it this way: positivity breeds more positivity. Negativity breeds more negativity. Once you place negative thoughts with a positive one, you will start having positive results. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life." He also said, "Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world." I cannot forget what George Bernard Shaw said, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want to have, and if they can't have them, make them." Well, it's very clear, isn't it? An individual who is thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is going to attain it, because that is what he's thinking about. And on the contrary, the individual who has no goals, who doesn't know where he's going, and whose thoughts must therefore be thoughts of confusion, anxiety, fear, and lots of worries, will thereby create a life of frustration. Fear, anxiety, and lots of worries. And if he thinks about nothing, he becomes nothing. Thus, how does it work? Why do we become what we think about? I will explain to you how it works, but before I do explain, I would like to tell you about a situation that works similar to the human mind. The human mind is much like a farmer's land. The land allows the farmer a choice. He may plant in that land whatever he chooses. The land doesn't care what he plants. The decision belongs to the farmer. Remember, we're comparing the human mind with the land because the land works similarly to the mind. It doesn't care what you plant in it. It will return what you plant, but it doesn't care what you plant. The farmer plants 2 seeds. One seed is sweet peas and the other is poison hemlock, a deadly poisonous plant. He waters and takes care of the land and takes care of both seeds. What will happen? Remember, the land doesn't care. It will return poison as wonderful fistful as it will sweet peas. So up comes the 2 plants, 1 sweet peas and 1 poison. Whatever you make in life, it will return upon you. The human mind is far more complicated, more incredible, and more mysterious than the land, but it works the same way. It doesn't care what you plant, success or failure. A genuine, factual, worthwhile goal or distraction, misunderstanding, fear, anxiety, and so on. Thus, what we plant must be returned to us. Some people will say, if that's true, why the population don't use their mind often then? Well, let me explain. The issue here is that our mind comes with a standard equipment at birth. It's free, and things that are given to us for nothing, we place it in a little tiny value box. The things we pay money for, we place it in the high value box. The riddle is that exactly the contrary is true. Everything that is really valuable in life comes to us for free, such as our minds, our souls, our bodies, common sense, trust, class, integrity, hopes, dreams, ambition, intelligence, love of family and children and country. All of these valuable positions are free, but the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can break or be replaced at any time. A rich man can completely lose his riches, companies, and his net worth and comes back and make another fortune. He can do that many times. I believe we heard that all the time throughout our century. Even if we have tremendous disaster, our homes are gone and our lands are destroyed, we can rebuild all of that. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. Our minds can do any kind of a job we delegate to, but generally speaking, we use it for tiny jobs instead of huge ones. So decide now, what is it you want? Do you want to be the best employee in your organization? Do you want to reach higher levels in your community or school? Do you want to get rich? All you have to do is plant that right seed in your mind, care for it, water it, and develop it. It is the most important decision you will ever make in your entire life. Work steadily toward your goal and it will become a reality. Lots of individuals I know compare themselves to others and hate so much. I believe that if they can turn all that hate and focus on a goal and some type of work, they would be in different places right now and attain what they wish to attain. You see, this is the law, like the law of Sir Isaac Newton, the third law, law of gravity. If you get on top of the structure and jump off, you will always go down. You will never go up. It's the same with the other laws of nature. They always work. Take a moment and think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Imagine yourself in your mind as having already reached that goal. See yourself doing the things you imagined after having reached that goal. Every one of us is the total sum of his own thoughts. We are what we are because that is exactly where we want to or feel we deserve to be, whether we'll declare that out loud or not. Each one of us must live off the fruits of his thoughts, because what we think today, tomorrow, next month, and next year will shape our lives and conclude our future. You are directed by your mind. I remember one time I was sitting on my porch in the western area of Montreal, and I saw one of those supersized jumbo jet Boeing 747 flying on top with what looked like a whole planet is moving on top of me, shaking the houses and the earth down below. A tremendous, incredible, huge machine, and there was a pilot settled way up flying it, guiding it. As I'm wondering about this tremendous invention, I couldn't ignore the idea running in my mind when I just remembered the resemblance of that supersized machine and the human mind. Imagine you're sitting in front of a controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to relax and fold your arm and let it fly itself into a mountain? Or are you going to keep both hands tight on the wheel and lead, control, direct this massive power to a specific worthy purpose? You are the captain and the controller of that massive machine. You are in the driver's seat. The very law that gives us success is a double-edged knife. We must strongly control our thinking, the same rule that can target people to wonderful lives and prosperous living. Success, wealth, happiness, and all the things we ever dreamt of. That is the very same law that can lead them into the trench. It's all in how they use it, for good or for bad. That is the greatest secret ever told. Do what the professionals, educators, and thinkers since the dawn of recorded history have told us to do. Pay the price. Work hard by becoming the person you want to become. It is not that difficult as people think it is to be. The moment you decide on a goal to target, you immediately place yourself into that successful people division. You are then in that rare group of people who know where they're going. Remember that stats I mentioned earlier? Well, one of every 100 people, you belong to the top 5. Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve and reach your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going. Create, invent, build, and take care of your family. The answer will come to you on their own accord and in the right time. Well, start now. You have nothing to lose, and you have your whole life to win. Here's some homework. Let you start thinking about. Remember, you have to complete this section homework to be able to continue smoothly throughout the next few sessions. They are connected together. So here it goes. Imagine you're on vacation and you do have all the money that you dreamt of, and you have no worries whatsoever from a thing called life. What will be your perfect day? What your perfect day look like? Describe it to me in the discussion board in the bottom. Explain it to me. Here's some questions that can help you with the homework to let you start thinking. What is your perfect day? How would you wake up? What would you eat or drink? How would you go through your day? Like, what would you do throughout the day, from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed? Remember, you have to make it perfect. What would your day have to be called perfect? Hello again, legends. Just now, I've explained the greatest secret ever told and how does it work. Now let's place that secret into work. Remember that homework I gave you last episode, which is supposed to be done by now? I want you to turn these results into a practical test. We will go through the test that will last 30 days. It isn't going to be easy, but I guarantee you, if you give it a good try, it will completely change your life for the better. Newton's third law of motion states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Simply stated, as it applies to normal human beings, that we can achieve nothing without paying the price. The results of those 30 days experiment will be in direct proportion to the effort you put forth. To be an engineer, an individual has to pay the price of long years of difficult studies. To be successful in teaching, and remember that each of us succeed to the extent of his ability to teach and influencing our families with our ideas, influencing our marketing, education in schools, influencing children on the advantages of living the good and honest life, influencing our associates and employees on the importance of being exceptional people. However, to be able to influence correctly and completely our way to the good life we all dreamt about, we must be willing to pay the price. And the question is, what is that price? I will provide you with the answer in a moment, but let me remind you of the most important point I mentioned in the first episode. We become what we think about. So that dear price is understanding emotionally as well as intellectually that we literally become what we think about. We have to control our thoughts in order to control our lives. Second, it's cutting away all fears from the mind and permitting it to rise through the issues and through mountains. You have to understand that one limitation are only imposed by oneself, and the opportunities available in this generation are beyond enormous. Discard the narrow mind, the hate, the jealousy, the prejudice. Don't let your mind play games with you. Force yourself to think positively. Set a definite goal and execute. Goals without executions are useless. Let your mind think about that goal from all possible angles. Use your imagination to go through this task. Imagination is one of those free gifts we have. We can do wonders with. Let your imagination and your mind direct you through the goals, and you just have to follow through. Let your imagination speculate freely upon many different possible solutions. Decide to refuse any negative and decide that there is no circumstances strong enough to defeat you in your accomplishment of that goal, of that purpose. And fourth, save at least 15 to 20% of every dollar you earn. In addition, understanding that no matter what your present job is, it has massive opportunities if you're willing to pay the price. So let's go over the points. Explain to comprehend the price each of us must pay to achieve the wonderful life that should be ours, that offer can be ours. It's of course worth any price. 1. You will become what you think about. 2. Remind yourself of the wonderful word imagination and open a window in your mind and begin to wonder. 3. The courage to save 15 to 20% of every dollar you earn. And 5. Action. Ideas are worthless unless you follow it with action. Now, let's try to make a plan for the next 30 days. I want you to remember that you have nothing to lose by making this test and everything you can possibly gain. There are 2 things that is inside everyone. Each one of us wants a few things, and each one of us is afraid of things. I want you to take a small piece of notebook and write down what is it you want more than anything in the world. It may be money, perhaps you would like to increase your income or make a definite amount of money. It may be an astonishing home you would like to live in. It may be a success in the job. It may be a specific position to get married and build a beautiful, strong family. Each one of us wants something. Now, write down on that card precisely what is it you want. Make sure it's a solo goal and clearly defined. Don't mix it up with other goals because you will lose the focus we're trying to attain in this exercise. Carry it with you so that you can look at it several times a day. Make sure you look at every time you look at it. Every time you need that focus back. Every morning, every afternoon, and every evening. For example, I have mine glued to the wall above the PC screen. In my car where I can clearly see it every time I drive, and in my laptop bag where I carry all my notebooks and my study books. Make sure to attach it where you can look at it before you go to sleep. Remember that you must become what you think about, and since you're thinking about your goal, so you can own it, in fact, it's yours truly. The moment you write it down and begin to think about it, and remember, you see all those beautiful things around us, success, wealth, business, you must understand that we have as much right to this wealth and success as any other living creatures out there. Now, let's speak about the challenging part. I call it challenging because as a human being, building a new habit, it means new formation of mind. Brand new habits means you need to focus for more than a few days to build a habit. Building a habit is a very difficult task. Habits can be formed by following those 3 steps. First, reminder, where I said earlier to write your goal on a notebook and a note card and attach it everywhere. Second, routine, that is where your action goes. Third, reward, the benefit you gain from doing the habit. When this habit is formed, it will follow you for the rest of your life. Stop thinking about what is it you fear. Every time a fearful or negative thought comes into your mind, replace it with a mental picture of your positive and worthy goal. Sometimes, when you feel like giving up, it's easier for a human being to think negatively than positively. It's easier for a human being to quit than keep fighting. We are built like that. And that's why only 5% are successful. You must begin now to place yourself in that group. For 30 days, you must take control of your mind and your life. Permit your mind to think only about positive. Each day in these 30 days, do more than any other day in your life. Go about it as you never done it before. Hustle like you never hustled before. Work harder than any other day you worked before. In addition to maintaining cheerful and positive attitude, give of yourself more than you're ever done before. Do this knowing that when you put out what will be directly equal to what you get back. Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to accomplish your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going, create, build, invent. The answers will come to you on their own and in the right time. Remember these words from Charlotte Manson. It takes a few weeks of work to build a new habit. Once the habit is in place, it must be guarded diligently and to prevent the reversion to the old ways. But keeping watch is not stressful or difficult once the new habit is secure. She also said, habits of mind become physical reality on brain tissue. And that's why habits is so powerful. It isn't all in the mind, it's physical too. Jim Ryan says, motivation is what gets you started. Habits is what keeps you going. Also, these are the habits the highly effective, successful people built and followed. Number 1, begin with the end in mind. Number 2, strive to simplify versus organize. Number 3, embrace the idea of less is more. Number 4, learn to value margin in your life. Number 5, value experiences over things. Number 6, establish habits, routines, and rituals. Number 7, understand that you are different and that's okay. And that is as simple as that. In fact, it's so simple that our complicated society, it's difficult for an adult to understand that he only needs a purpose and faith. Devote your 30 days test to completely giving of yourself without thinking about receiving anything in return, and you will be amazed at the difference it makes your life. No matter what your job is, do it as you've never done it before. And if you kept your goal before you every day, you'll wonder and marvel at this new life you found. J.K. Rowling is the brand creator, one of the most popular books and film franchise in history. Outstanding writer and former English teacher, she already built her own success story with sincerity and faith, and her life was changed to one of the overwhelming success. She said, anything is possible if you got enough nerve. Now you make your success story and start creating it right now. Don't start your test until you've made up your mind to stick with it. This is called persistent, and by being persistent, you're indicating faith. It's that simple. If you don't have faith, you will never persist. If for any reason you should fail during first 30 days, by that I mean find yourself overcome by negative thoughts, you have to start over again from the beginning and go 30 more days. I believe when you finally graduate, finishing these challenging 30 days, your new habit will form. Keep on creating and sticking with habits until you find yourself one of those wonderful minority to whom virtually nothing is impossible. And remember, you are standing in your own acres of gold, but you just don't see it yet. And don't forget the note card. It's enormously important as you begin this new way of living. On one side of the card, write your goals, whatever it may be, and the other side, write the motivational thought that will get you going every day. Habits of mind become physical reality on brain tissue, and that is why habit is so powerful. It isn't all in the mind, it's physical too. Create, build, invent, and everything else will come by its own accord. Hello again, legends. During these 30 challenging days, you need motivation and inspiration to keep you going strong. Nothing great was ever accomplished without inspiration. Keep in mind not to worry. Worry brings fear, and fear is immobilizing. The only thing that can cause you to worry during a test is trying to do it all by yourself, without help. Know that all you have to do is embrace your goal before you. Everything else will take care of itself. Remember, also to keep calm and cheerful. Don't let small issues aggravate you and get you off your journey. Why should I bother? Some people will actually ask that. You have to look at the alternative. No one wants to be a failure. No one really wants to be an average person. Millions and millions already live constantly in fear, worry, frustration. Therefore, you must be unique. Remember, pay the price by becoming the person you want to become. An individual who is thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is going to attain it, because that is what he's thinking about. On the contrary, the individual who has no goals, who doesn't know where he's going, and whose thoughts must be therefore be thoughts of confusion, anxiety, fear, and lots of worries, will thereby create a life of frustration, fear, anxiety, and lots of worries. And if he thinks about nothing, unfortunately, he becomes nothing. Gradually, you will have the tendency to forget what you've heard here on this recording. Play often. Keep reminding yourself of what you must do to form this new habit. Most of the people will tell you that they want to make money without understanding the rules. The only people who make money work in the mines and the manual laborers, blue collars. The rest of us must earn money. The only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products which are needed and useful. We exchange our time and our products or services for the other man's money. Therefore, the law is our financial return will be in direct ratio to our services. Success is not the result of making money. Making money is the result of success. And success is in direct ratio to our services. Most people have this law in reverse. They believe that one is successful if one is making money. The truth is that one can only earn money after one is already successful. It's like the story of the man who wrote a book to help people out and then waited for the money to come in without doing any marketing or spreading the word out. How many individuals have the same attitude today? There are millions. We've got to supply the effort first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service, work, build, create, and invent. I believe if you follow these habits, you will find yourself there is no limit to the happiness and prosperity that will come to you. As you go daily through your 30-day test, remember that your success will always be measured by the quality and the quantity of service you supply, and money is just a tool for measuring this service. I believe an individual will get back what he puts out, guaranteed. Remember the law I discussed previously. Follow it, believe it, and listen to the results. The greater laws of life cannot be broken. Here are some steps to keep you disciplined. Don't wait to feel like it and set yourself a definite goal. List your reasons. Develop new habits. Stay focused. I mean, one project at a time. Stop thinking of all the reasons why you cannot be successful, and instead think about the reasons why you can. Discard the excuses. Change the image you have of yourself by writing down a description of the person you would like to become. Act the part of the successful person you decided to become. The person who wrote these words as a noted life coach and mentor, Michael Hyatt. I challenge you to go walk down the main streets of Montreal and ask every individual, one after another, what is the definition of success? And you will probably would not stumble into one person who will actually define success the correct way, probably in a month or a year. This information I provide you within this conversation is very precious to every one of us. If we really comprehend it and apply it, it's very important and very valuable, not only for us, but also for the people closest to us, our families, relatives, friends, and associates. An individual should fully be alive, be happy, be glad to wake up in the morning, be glad to get up out of bed in the morning. One should be doing the job he wants to do because that is exactly what he loves to do, because he does it well. Do what the professionals and experts told us since the dawn of recorded history. Pay the price by becoming the person you want to become. It's not as nearly as difficult as living unsuccessfully. Make sure you follow your 30-day task religiously. Then when it's done, repeat it, then repeat it again. And each time it will become a part of you. You will have what you always dreamt of having: success, education, discipline, strength, and even money. What's more important, you will have peace. You will be in that wonderful minority who lead calm, cheerful, successful lives. Start today. You have nothing to lose, but you have a whole life to win. This is Mohamed Fawaz, and thank you very much.